Customers buy based on emotion and justify with logic. For the past 50 years, every sales training, marketing course, or copywriting book has repeated that line. So much so that we don't even question it anymore. We just take it as a truth. And it's almost right, but it mistakes the symptom for the source. Customers don't buy based on emotion, they buy based on beliefs which lead to certain emotions. And it's that distinction that makes all the difference. Because if you think that emotion is at the root, your job becomes to trigger certain emotions. If you know that belief is at the root, then your job becomes building conviction. Let's look at an example. So pretend that I want to buy a truck, and I want it to be a massive truck. But I tell my wife Laura that I want this truck because it's for hauling supplies around town. Really, deep down though, I know that it's because the truck is going to make me feel strong and validated and respected among my peers. So at first, this situation might seem to fit that line that customers buy based on emotion and justify with logic. But look closer at that emotion, that wanting to feel strong and respected. It rests on an unexamined belief. The belief is something like strength equals worth. Now the test is if we swap out the belief for a different one, we get a different emotion, a different reaction. If instead I believe that real strength comes from self-mastery, then my emotions would be different and I would probably purchase differently as well. And what I tell Laura, that I want the truck just to haul stuff around town, that's not logic. That's post-purchase rationalization. So the real sequence is not emotion, purchase, logic. It's belief, emotion, purchase, rationalization. Emotions are reactions to beliefs, and the emotions that move customers closer to or further away from a purchase are almost always attached to an underlying belief. Emotion is the fire, belief is the fuel. Pretend you are constructing a marketing campaign and someone clicks on one of your Facebook ads and they land on your webpage. Now on the webpage there are two different ways you could persuade that person to buy. One is to put forth an argument. You could have a thesis where you have claims that you make and evidence to back it up and a conclusion that you come to, where the logical conclusion is to buy from you. The second way to do it is to kind of carelessly slap a countdown timer on there that clicks down to 0, increases that pressure, and hopefully that person buys before the buzzer. Now these are two different approaches to persuasion, and I think you feel that they're different, but you may not have had names for this distinction before. The first way, the argument, it engages with the person's capacity to reason. It engages with their intellect. The second way, the countdown timer, is really just trying to trigger them. Is trying to get a reaction, because we know that when the clock strikes 0, people act. So the first way really tries to engage with the person's agency and their free will. The second way, the countdown timer, is trying to bypass all that. I found the language for this distinction, these two different types of persuasion, not in the field of marketing, but in a 1947 book called Miracles by C.S. Lewis. Lewis is mainly known for his fictional works, but he was a brilliant thinker and a well-respected philosopher. In chapter 3 of Miracles, he's discussing the plausibility of miracles and discusses belief building and goes into the distinction between what he calls conditioned responses and grounded responses. And even though he's talking about the plausibility of miracles, this chapter has a ton of benefit for business owners, and it teaches us how to communicate with the people that we wish to do business with. Now, the philosophy in this chapter is a bit dense. It was tough for me to wrap my head around, so I came up with a parable to help understand it, and I hope that helps you understand it too. It's called the genius dog parable. Imagine two dogs. Both dogs expect food when a bell rings, but why they expect food reveals how belief building works. Dog number 1 is Pavlov's dog, who you've probably heard of. So when he hears the bell, his mouth waters. Bell equals food. But there's no understanding there. It's pure association. Dog number 2 is the genius dog. When he hears the bell ring, he thinks, the bell is ringing, and anytime the owner rings the bell, that's followed by him bringing food out. So there's a pattern there. It's based on reason. It's based on understanding. And because of that, when the system changes, the genius dog can adapt because he understands the underlying principles at play. A conditioned belief is based on reflex and trigger and emotion. It's the world of hype and hacks and short-term thinking. It's fragile and easily broken. A grounded belief, on the other hand, is based on reason and logic and understanding. There is a truth that is grasped. It is durable and creates a long-term partnership. We business owners should take that second approach, building grounded belief that engages with our prospect's intellect. Unfortunately, most of the marketing advice out there encourages the opposite. It encourages us to treat our customers as if they're Pavlov's dogs with credit cards. And the people I work with, my clients, my book readers, people who watch this YouTube channel, they don't like that approach. They're turned off by it, but they think that that's all that there is. That's why this approach of argument-driven marketing resonates so much with them. It engages our customers as thinking partners, and we trust that they can follow a case. With that in mind, let's run with another example. So for this one, pretend that you're running a marketing campaign for a dentist's office, and you're promoting a night guard that goes on to people's teeth, people who grind their teeth. So there's a stronger version to this promotion and a weaker version based on what we just learned about beliefs. So the weaker version goes like this. Protect your teeth with a custom night guard. It's comfortable and it gives you a great smile. Check out this very attractive model and her Hollywood smile. You can have a smile like that too. Best part is, it's 20% off during the summer. The stronger version, when you grind your teeth at night, you're putting far more force on your teeth than when you chew food. You don't see it, but those cracked teeth and that enamel, that is invisible until it isn't. And then at that point, that means either a root canal or a crown, which can easily cost $1,000 to $3,000. So when you use a custom night guard, you're not so much buying a new dental product, you are reducing a future bill that you are going to incur anyways. The weaker version contained zero new information. It was restating a desire that the customer had, and it tried to trigger a reaction, trigger a purchase by featuring this attractive model and the price cut. The stronger version, though, transferred information. Information about grinding your teeth, about how the problem is irreversible, and the cost comparison. And a reaction, an emotional reaction, flowed from those beliefs, but the person creating this marketing campaign wasn't trying to influence those emotions directly. And that's the difference. Before we close, I want to clarify something. So it's not that emotions aren't important. In fact, they're extremely important and extremely powerful, especially when they're tied to an underlying belief. And when you take this argument-driven marketing approach and you build the beliefs that your prospects need in order to buy, they're going to have emotions. They're going to feel excitement about your product. They're going to feel confidence. They're going to feel relief. And those are stronger and more durable emotions because they're tied to something real. And they're much stronger and more durable than emotions that are triggered from a countdown timer or a flashy website or a gorgeous supermodel. Those are fleeting. So let's retire the cliche. Let's stop triggering emotions and start building belief. And we know this is true. So imagine you're asleep at night and you hear a bump downstairs. Your belief triggers your reaction. If you believe that someone broke into your house, you're going to feel terror. But if you had just adopted a puppy, then your reaction is going to be very different. You're going to feel warm, fuzzy feelings towards that puppy. Oh, silly puppy. Or maybe you feel some annoyance. Again, belief is the fuel, emotions are the fire. In closing, you don't target emotions, you earn them. If you want to go deeper into this, check out my marketing manifesto on human dignity in marketing. You can find that at marketingisanargument.com. If you want to follow a practical approach for argument-driven marketing, belief building, then read Simple Marketing for Smart People. You can find that at simplemarketingbook.com. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.